Book 80 of 2019 was Executed by R.R. Haywood. So this is the second in the trilogy. So I did a book review for the first one, which was called Extracted, and this one's called Executed, so it's the second one. It's the same characters, it's continuing on the narrative from the previous book. Now this one, the reason I bought the second one was because after the first one I really enjoyed the beginning of it, but felt like it kind of declined at the end, and I thought, well, this one might pick it back up again, and we'll come to some kind of climax, some conclusion in it, so it was probably worth continuing on. And it had actually better ratings than the first one, so I kind of thought, oh, maybe this one will be even better than the first one. It won't, you know, like go downhill like the last one. And I read like a review and it said something about it being thrilling from the onset and all this kind of stuff. And when I put it promised to be action packed was what was in the review. Unfortunately, the majority of the book is set in the bunker, which was the problem with the first one. And so because of that, it's quite uneventful for most of it. I don't know what this person was talking about in terms of being action-packed, because it wasn't, especially in comparison to the first one. It had some kind of elements of action in it, but a lot of it was kind of focused on this kind of cultivation, which it just kept being repeated over and over again. It was just really kind of like irritating, and there wasn't kind of much happening. I still really enjoyed the characters, and there's a couple of new characters that come into it and a couple of characters that go out of it. And I kind of enjoyed the elements of time travel in it again, like the first one. But there was just kind of like this, it just seemed a little bit unbelievable in terms of how the characters were responding, particularly when you compare it to how they were in the first one. I kind of felt like the characters kind of diverged a little bit from their kind of set path that they would probably be on. And at the end of the book, I just felt like, given that it's a trilogy, I won't be reading the third one. Like, I was so disappointed by this second one, because I'd really enjoyed the first half of the first one, didn't like the ending, and then this middle book was pretty much, you can tell it was a middle book, and like the person's probably, the writer R.R. Haywood's probably going to finish it off in the third one, but I just kind of thought, I'm not going to buy another book of yours when you've already disappointed me enough with this second one. I just kind of felt like it was a bit of a letdown, really. And I feel like that book could have been cut down, so all this cultivation, I was going to say crap, that's in the middle of it could have been cut down, and then whatever's going to be in the third one could have been added to the second one. I don't think it was a trilogy, it was a 3-booker. I think they could have probably done it into 2 books, really, and cut a lot of the superfluous stuff out. So yeah, I don't recommend this second one. I do recommend the first one. The first one was quite good, but the second one, no. And like I said, I won't be reading the third one.